maybe your food is killing you.
You almost lost your life.
Yeah, and I just...
Because of food.
Yeah.
And you keep on taking that food every single day and you don't realize it. So
a lot happens also after menopause. When you hit menopause or perimenopause, your body starts changing and it cannot handle or absorb all the toxins.
Did you ever feel like you were going crazy? Like the doctors are telling you you're fine, your family don't really understand, but you're sitting with these symptoms.
Welcome to M-powerTV, where we leave a legacy of hope through conversations that uplift, educate, and inspire. Listen to incredible stories of people who overcame challenges and barriers, celebrate victories, learn from setbacks, and push forward together.
And you would hear all this torture, and then they would shoot.
Want to be empowered? Let's go. Subscribe for more and get this book now.
And joining us in studio today is Sunday Lima. Sunday, welcome to the show and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So Sunday, we're going to talk a little bit about a rare disease that you just suddenly developed. But before that, before becoming a business coach, what was your life like and what were you up to?
Oh, before being a business coach, I was a lot of things. I got my degree in business with a major in finance, and I worked as a stockbroker. Realized that wasn't good for me. I moved to Madrid, taught English as a second language, learned Spanish, loved it, got my master's in teaching English as a second language, and taught business communications at FIU because I had both of those degrees. That was good for that. I've taught writing at the university level. I've taught robotics.
Oh my goodness.
I owned my own business for 8 years. I had a tack and feed store, retail store up in Ohio.
You were super successful.
Yeah, I've done
Busy.
so many things. Yeah, so many. I think it's from not being a mother till I was 38.
So what brought you to business coaching?
Well, I love educating people. I love teaching, and I love business. Starting and running a successful business and then selling it. It was the most exciting job I had had.
Yeah.
And I just like to combine those two passions of teaching others and entrepreneurship.
And you're good at it. I mean, you had so many different businesses and careers, so you had all this experience. But I know the whole journey actually started for you when you suddenly got very, very sick, right? It's called hyperacusis, am I correct? Explain to us a little bit about what that is and how you actually found out you got it.
Yeah, it's apparently rare, but I believe it's becoming more and more common. It is a sound sensitivity issue where you are sensitive to sounds around you. And it could be even sensitive to the air conditioning turning on.
Sure.
I mean, I was that bad to where I hated when the AC would turn on because just that noise upset my nervous system.
Is it painful?
It can be. It can be. And, loud noises were painful to me, but not as much as it can be for others. Others have really severe pain with hyperacusis. Mine, fortunately, was not that bad. But I was sensitive to the vacuum. I couldn't vacuum anymore.
Goodness.
I couldn't go to my daughter's concerts. She plays the viola in an orchestra, and her basketball games were very painful. I had to wear earplugs, and I used to practice shooting, and I have shooting muffs, and I would wear those on top of my earplugs, and I would still cringe every time the buzzer went off. It just causes a lot of anxiety. And I didn't realize at first what was going on, and then from research I realized it was a nervous system disruptor.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what caused it. I thought it was a concussion that caused it.
Yeah. Did you fall or something? Did something trigger it or?
Well, I was playing indoor soccer about 4 years ago, and I had fallen and hit my head. Not a bad fall. But afterwards, I realized my balance was a little off, and I needed to stop playing. I was driving home, and I was nauseous and realized I had another concussion, and it was probably like number 13. I've led a very active life.
Sounds like it.
You know, soccer, horseback riding, jet skiing. You know, I've car accident. I mean, there's many reasons why I've gotten these concussions, but yeah, that triggered it to where I started noticing the sound sensitivity and the brain fog. And I mean, there's a whole slew of symptoms that come along with the hyperacusis, and a lot of times tinnitus or tinnitus it goes with it as well, which I had.
So is it something that progresses slowly, or is it just suddenly you just can't cope with any sounds around you?
Well, for me, everybody's different, and I'm on a Facebook group, so I know other people's stories.
Okay.
For me, it was gradual and then got worse. For many people, they know the exact day and instance that it happened. They go from being normal to can't handle any sounds. Like it even hurt to drive. The sound of the road, the humming of the road, like disrupts your nervous system. So people can't even drive with hyperacusis. But for me, it was gradual and then got worse and worse. And yeah.
It sounds excruciating. Is it irritating? Is it painful? What does it? You said anxiety causes you to feel anxious. Like, yeah. How do you deal with all these feelings? Like,
it was
because your ears are. I mean, if you can hear,
you're
it's
alive.
something that you're doing every minute of the day, unless it's night and it's quiet. But I suppose even then you might hear things that I might not even hear because I'm not so sensitive.
Like the air conditioning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like exactly. Like the air. Did you have to switch it off, or what did you do?
I started keeping the house at a much higher temperature, but I couldn't do dishes. There was a lot that I had to change, and I couldn't go to restaurants anymore. Even quiet restaurants were too loud. The clanking of the plates and
So how did it affect your life? What happened?
Oh, I became a homebody, specifically in my bed, and I was tired all the time. I would take naps in the afternoons, and I was never a napper. I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't focus. I had fatigue, tiredness, brain fog. I just couldn't connect ideas, and I couldn't sit and do something longer than a few minutes. And then I realized that I had developed ADD. And now I knew what that was like, and now I could empathize with people with ADD, but it is, I guess, from my perspective, it's like a nervous system thing. Even my bedroom got so cluttered. My queen size bed, the only space on the bed was where I slept.
Oh my God.
That's how messy my life became.
And you were not like that before, right?
Oh no, I'm like OCD. Like I have a label maker, and everything's labeled, and everything's clean, and everything's organized. And I went from that person to somebody I didn't even know who I was. And I was irritable. I would get upset for no reason.
Well, I can imagine. I mean,
and I was always such a happy person. And now I'm like,
Yeah. Because if you're consistently triggered by sound and it's painful and it's irritable, I mean, I can't even imagine what that must feel like, because there's no end. Like how long?
There's no relief.
There's no relief.
Yeah, there's no break.
Can you put earplugs or something, or no, it doesn't work?
Well, the earplugs help. I started wearing what are they? The sound canceling earplugs, so I could go to restaurants. That helped. Nice. But then it was hard to have a conversation.
Yeah, because you can't hear.
I can't hear as well, and when you talk with the earplugs in, you can hear yourself, which was not comfortable.
Yeah.
But at least I was able to like go to a cafe with a friend. So that did help a little bit. But the only time I had relief really was when I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And
What did it feel like? Was it lonely? Did you feel supported? Did anybody understand what you were going? Did you understand what you were going through? Because I mean,
I didn't really know what was happening.
Yeah.
I went to many doctors. My general doctor, he sent me to a neurologist, to an ear doctor. They all ran a bunch of tests. Nobody could find anything wrong.
Oh my goodness.
The blood test, nothing. They were all telling me you're fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're not fine.
I'm not fine.
How did that make you feel? Like,
it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
And yeah, no one really understood because they couldn't see the sickness. Nothing was broken. I wasn't sniffly. I sounded normal.
yeah.
So, yeah, nobody understood. Even my daughter and my elderly mother lived with us at the time as well. And she just thought I was a hypochondriac, being lazy.
Oh my God.
Which made it worse.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of support then. Because if you're all on your own and you battling with your mind constantly with the sound, I can't even imagine. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you and I literally have like goose flesh because
it was so scary. It was
so
really
scary.
scary. Because I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
I lost my income because I couldn't work. I lived off of my savings that I was going to fix up my house with, and then that ran out. And then I thought about selling the house, which I didn't want to do, obviously. And luckily, I had a lot of credit on my credit cards, so I just started using credit cards to get us through. And it was like a year and a half.
Goodness.
That, and I was scared.
Of agony.
I was scared. I was like, who's going to take care of me? What if I get worse? Because I knew of situations where people had it much worse and their condition worsened.
Yeah.
So I was
Did you start finding out
petrified.
then what it was? Did you do your own research, or how did you actually
I started
out
searching.
what you had?
Yeah, I started searching sound sensitivity, which led me to hyperacusis. So at least I could put a name on it. So I kind of diagnosed myself.
Yeah.
Because no doctor had even heard of hyperacusis that I saw.
Yeah.
So I diagnosed myself, and then I started researching hyperacusis. And a lot of the research led me to functional medicine. And I found some functional doctors online that were making sense to me. They find the root cause of problems and not just give you a pharmaceutical for the symptom, right? Which is what the neurologist wanted to give me high blood pressure medication, and I don't have high blood pressure. So I didn't take it, obviously, but
Of course, yeah.
so the functional medicine made sense to me. So I did a lot of research on that, and I started following the protocols that they were asking for, which was they talked about leaky gut, and I heard of leaky gut, but I thought, what is that?
I've also heard about it, but I don't really know what it is. What is leaky gut?
Leaky gut is when your stomach, the inside of your stomach leaks through the walls of your stomach and into your bloodstream. So toxins and food particles are getting into your bloodstream, and they're supposed to stay in the stomach. They're not supposed to seep through and get in the rest of the body. So leaky gut causes inflammation. And you get leaky gut from not having the right probiotics and bacteria, healthy bacteria.
Okay.
You get it from eating processed foods, oxalates, lectins. I'm not going to go into what all that is, but I'm very educated in all of it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you just had to become, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever feel like you were going crazy? Like the doctors are telling you you're fine, your family don't really understand, but you're sitting with these symptoms. I mean... Yeah,
there was a time in the beginning when I first started reaching out for help, and the doctor was like, you're fine, there's nothing on here. I'm like, no, I'm not. Can't you run more blood work? Can't you check other things? Because the blood work that the doctors run is very minimal. But I learned later they don't run the big gamut because they don't know how to read it or treat it. They only know their lane. Yeah. That's when I discovered a local functional doctor, Dr. Tinney, that lived close to me, and he took 22 vials of blood out of me.
Goodness.
He ran like over 100 tests.
Wow.
And the most important test, I think, was the food sensitivity test that he did. He gave me some supplements that I needed from the blood work because he saw that I was low in certain vitamins and nutrients, like iodine, which I didn't know how important that was. And then he gave me a list of 30 foods that I had to give up.
Yo.
30. And most of them are on the healthy food list.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Broccoli.
No way. I love broccoli.
Yeah, almonds.
So they were just not working with your body?
Right. Everybody has certain sensitivities. Yeah. The top two for me were gluten and egg whites.
Okay.
And the next tier was almonds, spinach, beans,
Goodness.
things I was eating every day, and my healthy smoothies.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I would put bananas. Bananas is on my list.
Yeah.
So most of the foods that was on that list, I was eating every day. I gave up those foods. Within 3 days,
No way.
I started feeling better.
Really?
Just from giving up
certain
those
foods?
Yeah.
You almost lost your life
Yeah, and I just...
because of food.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of ending your life when you were at that low moments? How does that feel like when you were there? Nobody understands and there's no support. And
I didn't get to that point, but many people with hyperacusis or sound sensitivity do take their own lives.
Yeah.
There is
I can imagine.
suicide in that population, and yeah, I mean, it upsets me just to think about, because I know what they're going through. Maybe
Yeah.
not the extent, but where I was hell. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine where they are, because some people can't even leave their house, can't even leave their room. They
can't find the cause.
and they don't. Nobody can
Like,
help
it's not
them.
ending.
No one can help them. All they're looking for is drugs to mask it.
Yeah.
They,
And there's nothing.
There are some pharmaceuticals that help with the symptoms, but there's also a risk, because some medicines cause hyperacusis. Antibiotics, NAISDs, like Advil and such. What do you call it? Antibiotic eardrops can cause hyperacusis.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of medicines that, you see the side effects,
Yeah.
and it's very rare, but every medicine has a side effect for some people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some people don't know that they're that one,
Yeah.
So I was afraid to put anything in my ears, take anything, because I didn't want it to get worse, because I knew I could live at the level I was at, but I knew I couldn't live at the level that a lot of people were at, that I was learning about online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just shocked when we met the first time and we had a coaching session for business, and I would have never known, because now you're super successful. You're helping hundreds of people in their businesses. What got you through the really dark days, and how are you implementing that now in your coaching?
Oh gosh, I did a lot of, they say that for every bad thing that happens, there's always something good that comes out of it.
Yes.
And I really felt like I needed to slow down. I needed to, I don't know, I'm crying. Because I was so busy, being a mom and working full time and volunteering and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But once I was forced to slow down and forced to just be with myself and get to know myself,
Sure.
I learned so much, and it really was something that I needed. And I'm almost, maybe I am, grateful in a way that I had this illness and had to go through that, because it really put, they always say things like that, puts things in perspective.
Puts life into perspective.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it really did for me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the question, but
it's beautiful.
came out. It came out. I'm happy to be here and have a success story.
Yeah.
And hope that, I would like to in some way let other people with sound sensitivity and hyperacusis know that, don't give up trying to find a solution.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, but functional medicine definitely is, I think, the way to go with any illness that anyone's dealing with where they can't get any answers. I have a lot of friends right now that have illnesses and the doctors can't figure out what's wrong. Yeah. So I always tell them, go to a functional doctor.
Yeah.
Because they test for everything, and they look at toxins like heavy metals. Maybe you have mold and you don't even know it. Maybe you're sensitive to food.
Yeah.
Maybe your food is killing you.
My goodness. And you keep on taking that food every single day, and you don't realize it. So I mean, it's
and I
it's
think a lot of
vicious
things,
circle.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. A lot happens also after menopause. I think that was the key, that was the catalyst for me. Because when you hit menopause or perimenopause, your body starts changing and it cannot handle or absorb all the toxins or all the foods that you could normally handle. So even though I've been eating those foods all my life, I was fine.
Yeah.
I probably had internal inflammation and didn't know it. And then after menopause, my body was like, okay, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though I could eat it before, I can't even eat it now.
Yes. And I think there's so many women out there that's sitting with the exact same issue. Maybe it's not sound sensitivity, but like you say, I mean, you've got so many friends that's dealing with other issues and they cannot find the cause. And I mean, I can relate with menopause. It's like you're fine, and then all of a sudden you're not.
Yeah.
And you don't understand, like nobody really talks about it. And I feel like in 2025, like previously, women didn't really have to work. They were raising kids. They had a different life. But now most women work. A lot of single moms have to work. And so you kind of have to just carry on at that same pace that you always have. But your body is just saying, that's it, now I'm stopping. And so, oh my goodness.
Exactly.
So many people are in that same situation.
And we just keep pushing through until
it breaks.
Which is what happened with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would your advice be for other women out there that might be at the start of what you went through?
I would definitely have a food sensitivity test. I think everybody should. You know, my daughter doesn't have any problems. She's healthy, rarely goes to the doctor. I had her take the test because I wanted her to know what foods to avoid.
Yes. For future reference.
Right.
You never know.
Her number one food, peaches.
No way.
Peaches. Right. Yeah. And then her second level was gluten and dairy and eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs are very common.
I
think.
love eggs.
I was eating them every day.
I eat them every single
I haven't
day.
had one in a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
How hard was it to turn around your lifestyle like that? Well, I mean, you were really sick, so that kind of helps, gives you a push, right? Because, I mean, I'm thinking, it's hard for me just to drink less coffee in a day. Like, I've been trying for weeks now to have less coffee every day. The more I try, the less I'm doing it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to give up what
strength?
brings you pleasure,
Right? And it's habits.
Yeah,
It's bad habits that you just into, and you just kind of...
Yeah. Well, I was ready to try anything because I was so miserable. I was so miserable. So I was trying it all. I was just throwing the kitchen sink, is that a saying?
Yeah.
I was throwing the kitchen sink at my body and just trying everything. So, you know, for me, because I felt so much better in just 3 days after changing my diet, it wasn't hard to
easy
stay
to
on.
carry on.
Yeah, because I knew that, oh my God, I'm feeling so good. I have my energy back. I have my brain back. I got to stay on this wagon.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to cheat because then what if I went back to where I was?
Yeah.
So I've been able to stay on it pretty strictly. And, you know, I have no problem saying no thank you, you know, because I know.
Yeah. You don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah. And I came up with a saying, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels.
Oh, wow. That is super powerful.
Yeah. So nothing is worth it. And I actually feel like 20 years younger, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
And basically just eating whole foods, giving up processed foods. I don't eat anything out of a bag or a box. I try not to. And then I stick to that diet.
Yeah.
And, you know, our food supply is full of toxins now and things that aren't good for us. They're food products. And so just sticking to a whole food diet, I think, would help anybody.
Yeah.
Even if you're not sick.
Even if you don't feel... It's just with energy levels and everything else, right? Yeah.
I have energy consistently all day. you know, all the way to where I go to when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm full of energy.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
I'm 20 again.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. Yeah.
Well, that is
Yeah.
that is a really good reason to start going for those tests. I would love to feel like I'm 20 again. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a slow, gradual. You know, you start feeling more tired. You start losing energy. You start feeling not as good, and I think we just think it's age. And it's such a slow,
Everybody tells you,
and it's
well,
a gradual
when you
change.
get to your, wait until you get to your 40s, wait until you're 50,
Right,
wait until you just wait, like you'll see. So you expect it, like, okay, well, you know, when I turn 40 or 50, I'm expecting that things were, but you don't have to, like,
Right.
if you eat the right foods.
Yeah. So because it was such a gradual change, I mean, for most people, they don't even realize that they could feel better. They just think this is normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Sunday, now you're a business coach, and I know you got a lot going on with your 20-year-old energy. I know you're also very passionate about helping women get out of debt and all of those things. Tell us a little bit about what you do now and how you're impacting women.
Okay, I am a business coach with a nonprofit here in Brevard County called We Venture Women's Business Center, and I do that part-time. And I also, well, for that, I help women entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses, and we meet them anywhere they are in that business life cycle. I've also started, I had started a business back before I got sick called Your Money Gal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's for the finances.
Yeah. Well, I started it back before when I got sick, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I created a online course called how to invest in crypto.
Oh,
Cryptocurrency.
wow.
How to buy crypto and store it safely.
Yes.
Because I started buying crypto back in 2020. And I wanted other people to learn how to do it because it was scary, like digital money or digital assets. What is that? So I created the course.
It's still a little bit scary.
It is. Yeah.
I bought a lot of crypto. I made some money. I lost a lot. I stopped.
Yeah, that happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, because I didn't have any training. I didn't know. I just heard people were making money. I'm like, oh yeah. I'll try. But
So
I'll definitely get your course.
Okay, well, I walk people through it and,
Love it.
screen by screen how to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was about to market that course, and that's when I got
And
sick.
then you got sick.
So I couldn't. And then now that I'm healthy, I wanted to market it again, but now I have to update it, because it's 5 years old.
Always something in business, right?
So I've added to my Your Money Gal, not just the crypto course, but business courses, how to create a business plan, how to project your finances, a bunch of different online courses, business coaching via, online, and as well as locally, I do public speaking coaching where I help business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals step up their game and their communication skills.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sunday, as a mom, when you were going through those really dark days, how did that affect your daughter?
It was very difficult because I was her rock. I was someone she looked up to, that she was proud of. I had a very successful career. I had a lot of friends. I was smart, had my brain, in other words, and could take care of her and take care of us. And I could no longer do any of those. I became the opposite of what I was to her. She was no longer proud of me. She kept asking me when I was going to work again. When are you going to get a job? Because I couldn't spend any extra money on anything. It was just the minimal. What do we need? And that was all I could do. So she played the viola. I had to stop her private viola lessons, which was hard on her. We couldn't go out to eat anymore. We couldn't do anything. And so
whole life just comes to a standstill.
My life became my bedroom, and in turn, her life became the house. And no more doing anything fun, no more, and then just seeing me that way. And then on top of that, I was no longer happy. I was no longer, singing and dancing and making jokes like I did before. Now I was just sad and depressed and sometimes angry. You know, I was irritable.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I don't think the irritation came from the depression. I believe it came from the brain inflammation. Inflammation in the brain alters you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why older people, especially if they get dementia and Alzheimer's, are mean.
Yeah.
And they can't help it. It's what's going on with the inflammation in their brain, I think.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel as a mom?
Oh, like this big. I felt like a failure. It was so hard. I remember my mom living with us at the time, and she got mad at me one night. She was like, just get up and make your daughter a dinner. And I was like, I don't have the energy. Like, she didn't understand. So I was just popping frozen stuff. That's what she was getting, was frozen meals. That's all I could do. And don't get me wrong, my mother was great. She was cooking for us and doing dishes and helping. But she didn't understand what was going on with me. So she was getting frustrated with me also, just like my daughter was, because they couldn't see the sickness.
And I can imagine that as an outsider looking onto someone's life like that, it's hard to understand, right, when you don't understand. So what would you say to people on the outside when they see their loved one struggling or seeming depressed, and like, how would be a good way, what would be a good thing to help with or to say to them, or like, where do they even start?
Yeah, you know, I had a lot of really good friends that I would see and talk with a lot, and I withdrew from them out of necessity. They didn't know what was going on. I didn't tell anybody. You know, I'm a strong, independent, confident woman, you know, nothing's wrong. And I would share with them, you know, what I was going through, but I wouldn't share with them the struggle, the depression, you know, the money problems. I didn't share any of that with my friends, because I'm the type of person, if I'm sick or if I'm depressed, I just want to be alone. And if I'm happy and healthy, then I want to share that with the world, right? So that's my personality. So nobody really knew what was happening. So I think for those seeing a friend or a loved one withdraw, I would inquire more and maybe try to get them to talk, open up and explain or express what's really going on. Because it probably would have helped. Well, I know it would have helped if I had some friends that really understood what was happening to me. But I don't blame them, because I wasn't telling them, right? I was keeping it.
And you didn't even really know until you did the food taste.
Exactly.
Is there anything that you would have done different looking back now at everything? Is there anything that you think maybe that you want to change about the journey, or how you handled certain things? Well,
of course, hindsight's 2020. We always look back and think, oh, but I didn't know. I wish I would have gotten help sooner, obviously. I wish I would have changed my diet. I didn't really, you know, I was really into nutrition, and I've been eating organic for 25 years, like when organic just came out, when people didn't even know what it was. But I knew, because the business that I started was a tack and feed store, and I sold feed for horses and animals. So I knew all about animal nutrition, and then I learned about human nutrition through that. So I knew all about nutrition, but I didn't realize how much the food industry, like processed food, frozen food, how bad it was for us. And I was eating organic frozen food, so I thought I was eating healthy. But it wasn't, you know, and I didn't realize how bad the gluten was here in the United States. I understand it's not as dangerous to eat, or I don't know if that's the right word. I think it's better tolerated in Europe, gluten. Like the breads. Like I could probably go to Europe and eat gluten there and be fine. But the gluten in our country has changed so much that it can be toxic to a lot of people. My functional doctor said nobody should be eating gluten, even people who don't have any problems. He said it's really bad for you.
My goodness.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think some people's bodies just handle the inflammation better, like you say, until it doesn't. But it'll be good to go and get
yeah, and
those
one other thing that happened to me when I went on this whole food diet, I was eating as much as I wanted. I never went hungry. I lost 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds in just a few months, which it was too soon. So I looked like, I didn't look good because it was just too much weight too soon. But I wasn't dieting, but I think part of it was some weight, inflammation. I think the puffiness that I had in my arms and was inflammation, honestly, because I was eating a lot. I eat a lot. I've always eaten a lot. And so for me, that was like a nice side effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was the weight loss.
So where does one find a functional health practitioner or doctor? Like, where do you even start? Is there a specific name you can look up, or just look up functional doctors, or like where does one start looking for help?
Well, there are many different places you can go online. The two functional doctors that I followed was Dr. Gundry and Dr. Mark Hyman. Dr. Mark Hyman has something where he does telemedicine, and you can see his staff. But I prefer somebody local that I can sit with face to face. And so I just looked up functional doctor. You can also look up integrative medicine, and I think natural something doctor. But functional, I think you want to make sure that they do all the tests, look at the whole body, and specifically what functional doctors, integrative medical doctors do is they focus on the cause. They try to figure out what's causing these symptoms you're having. And I was going to say something else about that.
And how much does it cost?
Oh, yeah.
And
that's a good question.
Does the health insurance cover any of that?
That's a good question. No. That's the problem. Health insurance does not cover functional medicine, and so you have to pay out of pocket. So it can be from $150 a month if you have somebody that's on a subscription, which is doable. If you just want to see someone once at a time, it can be like $300 to $600 an office visit. But for me, I was willing to try anything because my health, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sold some stock and went to the functional doctor and was able to get help. Goodness. But yeah, and there's local ones everywhere. If you can't find a local one, I suggest contacting one of the ones online that do telemedicine.
Yeah. And they'll send you for all the blood tests and get the results.
Right. They send the prescription and then they get the results and they go over with you via Zoom. Everything's via Zoom now.
Yeah, it's easy. Goodness. Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's so eye-opening because even I'm sitting here listening thinking, it would be a good thing to go and have that done before you even go into a place where your body just really stops working.
Yeah. I think...
Every single person should
if you're over 40 or over 50, get all that blood work done. Because you might be low in iodine and you don't know it. And then a few years from now, you're going to have major problems, or probably even less than that. Maybe you're low in omegas, omega-3s. Maybe you're low in vitamin B12, which is huge for people who are older.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough of those key nutrients, you're going to have health problems.
Yeah. And I think a lot of health problems is masked by depression, because they end up in depression because people get so frustrated and low energy and just everything, like nothing is working. Your body is literally suffering, and it just gets, say, oh, you're depressed, take an antidepressant, or
a lot of
people, like you say, blood, high blood pressure, take something for blood pressure, or I've learned that a lot of depression is nutrient based.
They don't have enough, magnesium or something. They're missing some nutrient, and if they just balanced their nutrients, then the depression would go away.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday, thank you so much for joining us. You have been amazing. Thank you for advocating for this and for spreading the word. And I know it's going to help hundreds and thousands of people.
Well, thank you for having me and letting me share my experience.
Sunday, before we close, where can people find you?
Well, I do have a website, yourmoneygal.com. And I'm on social media as well, on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. So you can find me at any of those places.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that is it from me, Lorna Grayling and M-powerTV. If you would like to get in touch with Sunday, her details will be on the screen right now. You can also check out the show notes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our episodes. We still have over 90% of our watching audience have not yet subscribed. So please subscribe. It's free and it will really help us. Until next week, goodbye.